how do we help our teachers engage in the work that we need them to do to change their pedagogical practices in the math classroom? I just got off a call with one of our district partners. We partner with school districts across North America to help them kind of figure out what the pathway forward for their district professional development planning looks like year to year. And in this particular call, the coach was concerned about how much, you know, like breadcrumbing do we give our teachers? Because too much breadcrumbing leads to no thinking on the teacher's part, and not enough might lead to inaction or not taking chances or not actually doing the work that we know we want to see in our classrooms. So the question always kind of becomes is like, how much is enough? Kind of, spoon feeding a teacher, for them to engage in the work that we want to see. So sometimes we think like, should we be giving them full curriculums? Like, should we go buy a particular curriculum that day by day you just flip the page and all of a sudden it tells you exactly what to do on that day? Or should we be giving piece by piece where not every day is fully laid out? When should we unpack our standards at a deep level so that we know how to help our teachers understand those standards and what it looks like to, for students to rise to that standard? Important work. But it's kind of like, well, how much should I give them for them to kind of get going? And the answer is probably, you're thinking, oh man, is there an answer to this? And the answer is like many things. It depends, right? It depends on who you're talking to, who that teacher is and where they are on their learning journey for unpacking, say, the standards that they're required to teach. And I often, in my old self used to say, don't give them anything. Let's let them figure it out. Because that's what we sometimes say to teachers to do with the kids in the classroom, which I don't think is the right answer either. And I don't think that we should just let teachers figure this out or build this out anymore. It's we do have to give them some support, right? We have to help them see what it could look like. We have to kind of give them that page by page. But the question is like, what does the page by page look like, and is that resource good enough? I often remind of I used to, a long time, I guess it was a few years ago, prescribed to some of those meal kit services. Like it was like HelloFresh, or here in Canada it was like Good Food. It was like you'd sign up every week, you get mailed a box of food, gives you the recipes, and all the great ingredients are inside. Ingredients I couldn't get here, in my small town. They would show up on my doorstep, and I would cook. I would follow the instructions. It was a page that told me exactly what to do. And I will honestly admit that by following that page week to week to week, I became a really great cook that I didn't need the page anymore. I could look at the fridge and go, I'm going to craft this for dinner. And I know that goes with that and that goes with this. And I'm going to need some of this to make this dish because of my experience of following the script. And I think we get worried that if we give our teachers the script, if we give our teachers like this script to follow, they won't think anymore. And I think it depends on what the script is, right? Like for me, it wasn't like I was making, Hamburger Helper. Not that Hamburger Helper was terrible. I didn't want to make Hamburger Helper. I wanted to make healthy, quality ingredient meals in my home for my family. And this provided me that. And some of the curriculums we have do that, right? Some of the curriculums we have access to do that. The resources we have at our disposal, the guides, the teacher guides, are the scripts that include the really great ingredients. They've got elements of curiosity. They've got the unpacking of what the standard looks like and what it means to, or what kids are going to be doing in that productive struggle stage. Like, these scripts are really important for teachers, because the more scripts that they follow that have the right ingredients, the better they're going to get at unpacking or using those ingredients in other ways. They might follow a very detailed teacher lesson guide for solving two-step equations, but when it becomes to, unpacking the exponent laws, they might be like, oh, that recipe for that lesson, that takes this element and this element, and I can make that now because I've gone through enough lessons that have that script laid out. So if you're thinking, you're thinking about how much kind of breadcrumbing can I do for my teachers, or how much, instructional, scripts should I provide? Keep that in mind, that it's going to depend on the teacher and where they are on their learning journey and what they need. So decide, what does that teacher need to take that leap? But the goal is to get them comfortable with those pedagogical moves and what they need to be able to make those pedagogical moves become a reality. Sometimes that script can do many things. It can give them a snapshot of the pedagogical shift, but also can teach them the math behind that lesson. And that is a really important piece. So without dismissing like curriculums or always relying on the textbook, think about whether the resource has the right ingredients before dismissing that resource.